They mocked the human ban, thinking humans were weak, but the footage revealed a truth that shocked everyone. Curious how humans turn the tables on their critics? Subscribe now to see more epic HFY stories and unforgettable victories. A fleet of sleek alien ships glided through the atmosphere of the Intergalactic Academy, their metallic bodies reflecting the light of distant stars. Inside the main hangar, the doors opened with a soft hum, and the alien students stepped out, their expressions filled with excitement and curiosity. They had traveled across hundreds of light years, eager to explore the legendary halls of knowledge and to witness the greatest civilizations of the galaxy. The Academy itself was massive, with towers that stretched into the clouds and floating platforms that moved gracefully between structures. Its design was both futuristic and elegant, combining technology and art in ways humans could hardly imagine. The alien students were diverse in appearance, some with multiple eyes, others with shimmering scales, and a few with translucent skin that glowed softly. Each of them had been selected for their intelligence, skill, and potential to influence the galaxy in the future. They carried advanced devices strapped to their arms and backpacks that contained holographic screens, tools, and resources they might need for their studies. Their chatter echoed through the hangar as they compared notes about their home planets, discussing strange creatures, unusual technology, and the unique customs they had witnessed during their journeys. As they walked toward the central plaza, a giant holographic map of the galaxy hovered in midair, displaying every known planet, star system, and academy branch. Some of the students pointed excitedly at distant human territories, noting the legends of Earth and its unusual history. The humans had been banned from many interstellar events, considered too unpredictable and primitive by other species. The alien students laughed quietly among themselves at the idea of a world that had no advanced technology compared to their own. They whispered jokes about how humans could never survive in a galactic academy, imagining them fumbling with even the simplest devices. Despite their laughter, a few of the more curious aliens paused to examine human achievements, noticing reports and artifacts stored in the Academy archives. They were fascinated by stories of humans surviving harsh environments, adapting quickly, and showing courage that sometimes even rivaled older species. But these thoughts were often pushed aside by their peers, who were determined to mock rather than admire. Confidence and arrogance filled the air as the aliens moved deeper into the Academy grounds. Every corridor and classroom seemed larger and more advanced than anything they had seen before, and they were eager to explore. The Academy staff, composed of various species, welcomed the new students with polite gestures, offering them guidance and briefings. Some instructors had heard of the humans and smiled knowingly, sensing the students' underestimation. Meanwhile, the alien students were too busy boasting about their skills, talking loudly about how easy their studies would be compared to what humans could manage. They imagined themselves mastering every subject effortlessly and looked forward to showing off their knowledge in the academy competitions. Their confidence was almost tangible, a mix of excitement and hubris that could be felt by anyone nearby. As the students explored the classrooms, laboratories, and simulation arenas, they marveled at the complexity of alien technology. From anti-gravity training fields to holographic war strategy rooms, each device seemed designed to challenge their minds and test their reflexes. Some aliens tried experiments on the spot, eager to prove their abilities and impress their classmates. Their movements were swift, precise, and confident, reflecting the training they had received on their home worlds. The academy itself seemed to respond to their presence, lights shifting and doors opening automatically, as if welcoming the brightest young minds of the galaxy. Among the group, a few students paused to look at the human section of the academy, which contained records of banned humans and their achievements. They whispered to each other, exchanging jokes and doubts about what humans could possibly do. Some laughed openly at reports of humans handling technology in unorthodox ways, dismissing their success as luck or coincidence. Their mocking voices echoed through the halls, blending with the hum of machinery and chatter of other students. As the day progressed, the alien students found their dormitories, each room equipped with advanced facilities tailored to their species' needs. They unpacked personal devices and began familiarizing themselves with the Academy's learning systems. Holographic instructors introduced lessons and training programs, and the students eagerly engaged, their competitive spirit rising with every challenge. Yet, despite all the excitement, the humans remained a distant thought, underestimated and underestimated by the new arrivals. Their presence or absence would soon become the most important lesson these aliens were about to learn. The Academy's nightfall brought a soft glow to the campus, lights floating gently around gardens and walkways. The alien students gathered in small groups, discussing their first impressions and planning their strategies for study and competition. They still laughed about humans, imagining them fumbling through advanced classrooms and simulations. Confidence ran high, and no one suspected that the perception they held would soon be shattered. Their journey at the Academy had begun, filled with arrogance, curiosity, and excitement, unaware that every expectation was about to be challenged in ways they could never imagine. During the first week at the Academy, the alien students quickly settled into their routines, but their attention was mostly focused on one topic: humans. They spent hours in the lounge, cafeteria, and even in classrooms whispering jokes about human abilities, comparing stories they had heard about human failures to their own skills. Every comment seemed to fuel their laughter as they imagined humans stumbling through the Academy's advanced courses, struggling to operate simple devices and getting lost in hallways that even the youngest alien students could navigate with ease. The idea of humans trying to compete among galactic elites was simply hilarious to them, and they could not hide their amusement. During lessons and practical exercises, the alien students often interrupted each other with mocking remarks about humans, pointing at holographic displays of human technology and shaking their heads. They joked about how humans could not even design a stable spaceship, let alone master interstellar combat or complex simulations. Some students created small games among themselves, betting on how long it would take for humans to fail if they were placed in these challenges. Each bet ended with laughter and exaggerated predictions of failure. Their arrogance was not subtle, and even younger students felt compelled to join in, adding their own imaginative mockery. When instructors mentioned humans in lectures, the aliens could hardly contain themselves, whispering to one another and smirking at every comment. They often leaned over to compare notes and share memes or holographic clips exaggerating human mistakes. The mocking became almost a form of entertainment, a way to bond with each other while reinforcing their sense of superiority. Some aliens even went as far as creating sketches and comics depicting humans tripping over technology or misusing tools. Their creativity was impressive, but it was all used to belittle a species they considered beneath them. Outside of lessons, the aliens took trips to the Academy's archives and data libraries, browsing historical records about human attempts to enter interstellar competitions. They laughed at old reports of humans failing in early simulations and training programs, commenting on how slow or clumsy they had appeared. Some even created small reenactments of humans' supposed blunders, performing exaggerated gestures and movements to make the others laugh. The entire Academy seemed alive with their mocking energy, though a few students quietly wondered if they might be missing something important. Their curiosity was often drowned out by the louder, more confident voices. The alien students also used the Academy's simulation arenas to test their assumptions, running through complex exercises and imagining humans trying to match their speed, precision, and strategy. They discussed how humans would likely fail in every possible scenario, from tactical maneuvers to resource management. Their confidence grew with every challenge, and they shared stories of their homeworld victories, comparing them to humans as if it were an unfair contest. Even during meals, their conversation revolved around humans, each alien trying to outdo the others with wittier and harsher jokes. The humor was relentless, and their arrogance seemed unshakable. A few students, however, quietly observed the human records with more focus, noticing unusual patterns in how humans solved problems. They whispered among themselves about the humans' resourcefulness and creativity, but these thoughts were quickly shut down by the louder majority, who dismissed such ideas as irrelevant. The mocking crowd often scolded the quiet observers, insisting that humans could never match them in intelligence or skill. Their laughter and teasing echoed through the corridors, reinforcing their belief in human inferiority. The alien students' arrogance was also visible during group projects, where they showcased their abilities and competed to impress each other. They often boasted about their speed, efficiency, and innovation, openly comparing themselves to humans, claiming they could accomplish tasks in minutes that humans might take days to complete. Their gestures and words were theatrical, a combination of pride and ridicule. Yet, in private corners of the academy, a small number of students watched the humans' techniques carefully, sensing something unusual, though they kept their observations to themselves to avoid ridicule. Even during breaks and recreation time, the mocking continued. Games and competitions became a stage for alien students to exaggerate human mistakes. They created imaginary scenarios of humans attempting to pilot spacecraft, manage resources, or navigate complex simulations. The others would laugh until their sides hurt, cheering on the most absurd failures they could imagine. Their sense of superiority was absolute, and no one doubted that humans were a subject of endless amusement. Confidence and arrogance filled every moment, from classrooms to the hangars. As the week progressed, the alien students' mockery became almost ritualistic, shaping the social atmosphere of the academy. New arrivals quickly joined in, learning to laugh at humans as part of fitting in. The academy seemed to vibrate with their laughter, their confidence, and their complete underestimation of humans. Every step they took, every plan they made, was built on the belief that humans could never rise to their level. Their arrogance seemed unshakable, yet little did they know that every joke, every bet, and every mocking glance would soon be challenged in a way they could never have imagined. A sudden announcement echoed through the academy halls, capturing the attention of every alien student. A human ambassador had arrived to present a demonstration of humanity's latest achievements. The aliens immediately laughed among themselves, certain it was a trivial event. They whispered to each other, making jokes about humans showing up in such an advanced academy, imagining the ambassador struggling to even operate basic devices. Their mockery was loud and confident, as if they already knew the outcome before it even began. The ambassador entered a grand chamber, calm and composed, holding a small device that projected a holographic display. The aliens watched skeptically, some rolling their eyes, others snickering quietly. They commented on the humans' physical appearance, their gestures, and the way they spoke, as though these small details could prove how primitive humans really were. Their amusement spread quickly, filling the chamber with an air of arrogance. Many students whispered bets, predicting exactly how and when the humans would fail. Their confidence was unshakable, and laughter echoed off the walls. Even as the human ambassador began to explain the demonstration, the aliens interrupted with sarcastic comments, asking how humans could possibly compete in matters of strategy, technology, or intelligence. Some raised their hands to challenge details, pretending to be concerned about the humans' safety in the advanced arena. The others laughed at these mock questions, enjoying the spectacle as if they were witnessing a comedy show rather than a serious presentation. The human ambassador remained calm, responding with concise explanations, ignoring the ridicule, which only seemed to frustrate the mocking students further. The demonstration included holographic projections, showing complex scenarios of resource management, problem solving, and technological applications. The alien students leaned forward with disbelief, yet still whispered among themselves, claiming the projections were staged or manipulated. They argued that no human could possibly achieve such results in reality. Their jokes continued, exaggerating every small detail they noticed, turning even minor displays of human skill into fodder for mockery. Some of the more confident students even began creating imaginary scenarios of human failure, predicting chaos at every step. Despite the aliens' constant ridicule, some students began to notice small, unexpected details in the demonstration. The humans used unusual strategies, combining creativity with precision in ways that didn't follow the traditional logic the aliens were accustomed to. A few aliens exchanged nervous glances, unsure whether to laugh or pay attention. Yet the majority ignored these signals, too invested in mocking to consider that humans might be capable of more than they had assumed. Their arrogance blinded them to the subtleties of human ingenuity. The atmosphere grew tense as the ambassador introduced real-time simulations, allowing the aliens to see human strategies applied in dynamic scenarios. The aliens leaned closer to the holograms, some still laughing, others beginning to frown. Their earlier confidence started to waver as they noticed how efficiently the humans handled challenges that would overwhelm most species. Small victories in the simulations drew gasps and whispers among the aliens, though they tried to mask them with scoffs and jokes. Denial was strong, but curiosity began to seep into their thoughts, challenging their assumptions. Some students whispered to each other, questioning whether humans could really be as unskilled as they had mocked. They tried to convince themselves that the demonstration must be an illusion, a rare exception. Yet every time the human ambassador completed a task flawlessly, the evidence became harder to ignore. The aliens found themselves caught between disbelief and admiration, struggling to reconcile their preconceived notions with the reality unfolding before them. Even those who continued to mock could not completely hide their surprise. By the end of the presentation, the human ambassador had shown a range of skills that defied the aliens' expectations. Their efficiency, creativity, and adaptability became clear, forcing even the most arrogant students to pause and reflect. Some could not believe that humans had achieved so much despite being banned and underestimated. The initial laughter had faded, replaced by a mix of confusion, curiosity, and the first sparks of respect. Whispers spread across the chamber as students debated whether their assumptions had been entirely wrong. Their worldviews, built on mockery and arrogance, were beginning to shift in subtle but undeniable ways. As the humans left the chamber, the alien students were left with a mix of emotions, ranging from stubborn denial to cautious admiration. Many continued to argue among themselves, some still mocking, while others quietly acknowledged that humanity might not be as weak or primitive as they had believed. The demonstration had planted a seed of doubt, a realization that perhaps the humans' abilities were far greater than anyone had imagined. For the first time, the aliens faced a challenge to their arrogance, and the Academy buzzed with the anticipation of what would come next. A sudden alert flashed across the Academy's main network, drawing the attention of every alien student. Holographic screens activated in classrooms, lounges, and corridors, displaying footage that no one had expected. The footage showed humans operating complex technologies with surprising skill, executing strategies that seemed impossible to many alien species. The students gathered around the screens, initially laughing, certain that the footage had been staged or manipulated. Some whispered jokes about trickery or holographic illusions, eager to dismiss what they were seeing. As the footage continued, the laughter slowly faded, replaced by expressions of disbelief and shock. The humans in the video moved with precision, coordinating in ways that defied conventional logic. Each action seemed carefully planned, yet executed with speed and adaptability. The aliens could not understand how a species they considered primitive could perform with such skill and efficiency. Murmurs spread across the halls as students tried to explain the impossible, pointing out maneuvers, calculations, and creative solutions that no human should have been able to achieve. The footage displayed humans navigating advanced simulations, managing multiple systems at once, and responding instantly to unexpected challenges. The aliens leaned closer, eyes wide, as humans solved problems in ways that were clever, unexpected, and sometimes even elegant. Even small gestures like adjusting machinery or coordinating resources under pressure demonstrated a level of intelligence and adaptability that stunned the spectators. The mocking students began to feel a shift in their confidence, unsure whether to continue laughing or take the humans seriously. Some students argued quietly among themselves, insisting that the footage must be altered, claiming that no human could possibly possess such coordination and knowledge. Others, more skeptical, began to admit that even if the footage was real, humans must have developed some unusual methods to compensate for their limitations. A few of the aliens, who had quietly admired humans in the past, now felt vindicated, seeing the proof that humans were capable of remarkable feats. The atmosphere in the Academy was charged. A mix of confusion, disbelief, and growing respect. The video progressed, showing humans working in teams, anticipating each other's moves, and solving problems that alien students had assumed required centuries of training. The aliens could not ignore the creativity and adaptability displayed, realizing that humans had approached challenges in ways completely different from their own. Some tried to explain the methods using familiar alien logic, but even the best explanations failed to capture the originality of human strategy. Their amusement turned to nervous laughter, then to silence, as the realization settled in. Rumors about the footage spread quickly, and soon every classroom, corridor, and lounge was filled with discussions about what the aliens had just witnessed. Students who had been the loudest in mocking humans were now quieter, some staring at the screens repeatedly, trying to find flaws or confirm that the humans were just lucky. Even the most arrogant students felt a twinge of doubt, questioning the assumptions they had taken for granted. Their previous certainty about human weakness was beginning to crumble, replaced by a hesitant curiosity. The footage also highlighted humans' adaptability under pressure, showing them improvising when situations became unpredictable. They solved complex problems using ingenuity rather than relying solely on technology. Something that many aliens considered a weakness turned out to be a strength. Their resourcefulness was unlike anything the alien students had seen before, and it challenged everything they had been taught about intelligence, ability, and strategy. The more the aliens watched, the more they realized that their previous mockery had been misplaced. By the end of the footage, the alien students were left stunned, some unable to speak, others whispering in disbelief. A few admitted quietly to themselves that they had underestimated humans in every way. Their arrogance had blinded them to the potential of a species they had dismissed as inferior. Discussions now focused on the implications of what they had seen, with many students eager to understand how humans had achieved such mastery. The footage had done more than entertain. It had shifted perceptions, forcing the Academy to reconsider its assumptions about humanity. As the final scenes of the footage played, showing humans completing complex sequences flawlessly and demonstrating teamwork, precision, and innovation, even the most skeptical aliens began to acknowledge that humans were far more capable than they had imagined. The initial laughter and mockery had vanished, replaced by awe and a sense of urgency to understand. The Academy buzzed with excitement and tension as students realized that the humans' abilities could not be ignored or underestimated any longer. What had started as a joke had transformed into a profound lesson in humility, intelligence, and respect. From that moment on, the human presence in the Academy was no longer a topic of ridicule, but a subject of fascination. The aliens who had mocked humans before now found themselves questioning everything they had believed. Their curiosity was piqued, and a quiet tension hung in the air, as everyone waited to see what humans would do next. The footage had changed the atmosphere completely, marking the beginning of a new understanding and a turning point in how humans were perceived across the Academy. The alien students could not accept what they had seen in the footage. Their pride and arrogance refused to acknowledge that humans could be as capable as the video showed. In the lounges, corridors, and classrooms, debates erupted as students argued over whether the human skills were real or simply a trick. Some claimed it was manipulated, saying the footage was edited or staged by clever humans to fool the galaxy. Others were not so sure, pointing out details in the humans' movements, strategies, and problem-solving that seemed too precise to be fake. Their mockery now mixed with doubt, creating tension among the previously confident students. A group of particularly vocal students decided that the only way to settle the argument was to challenge humans directly. They demanded a public contest where humans would have to prove their abilities under controlled conditions. Laughter turned into excitement, as the aliens anticipated a chance to humiliate humans in front of the entire Academy. They boasted loudly, claiming victory in advance, certain that humans could never match their skills in a live demonstration. Their arrogance returned, but now it was accompanied by nervous energy, as the possibility of being proven wrong lingered in their minds. The Academy instructors tried to calm the students, explaining that the challenge would be fair and that humans had already demonstrated competence in simulations. But the alien students were too caught up in their pride to listen, They continued to whisper among themselves, planning strategies to dominate the humans and show once and for all who was superior. Bets were made, teams were formed, and predictions of failure for the humans were shared. Their confidence filled the academy, and even those who had started to doubt humans were drawn into the spectacle, eager to see the results. Preparations for the contest began, and the alien students practiced relentlessly, refining their skills, reviewing strategies, and training in the advanced simulation arenas. They moved with precision, their confidence high, as they imagined the humans struggling to keep up. Some practiced exaggerated displays, intending to intimidate the humans and show off their superiority. The corridors echoed with the hum of machines, the clicking of holographic tools, and the chatter of students comparing their abilities. The entire academy seemed alive with energy, all focused on the upcoming demonstration. Despite the preparations, a few students could not shake their unease. They remembered details from the footage that had impressed them, the humans' adaptability, creativity, and unexpected problem-solving. These observations were quietly shared in hushed tones, suggesting that humans might be more dangerous than anyone had thought. Yet, the majority of students dismissed these warnings, mocking their peers for overthinking and insisting that humans would inevitably fail. The tension between certainty and doubt grew, creating a charged atmosphere throughout the academy. When the day of the contest arrived, the alien students assembled in the demonstration arena, their arrogance visible in every gesture. They strutted and boasted, certain that humans would be overwhelmed by the advanced environment and complex tasks. Their confidence seemed unshakable, but hidden beneath it was a hint of nervousness, a subconscious recognition that the humans might surprise them. The academy watched in anticipation, instructors observing quietly, while other students whispered among themselves, waiting to see whether the arrogant predictions would come true. The contest began with humans entering the arena, calm and composed, carrying only their minimal equipment and a quiet determination. The aliens could hardly hide their smirks, convinced that the humans would falter immediately. They exchanged jokes, exaggerated their confidence, and whispered bets on how quickly humans would fail. Yet from the first moments, it became clear that humans were not ordinary. Their movements were precise, their strategies unexpected, and their coordination almost flawless, forcing the aliens to pay attention despite themselves. As humans navigated the first challenges, the alien students' mockery faltered, replaced by surprise and curiosity. Every unexpected solution and clever maneuver made them pause. Some tried to deny what they saw, claiming it was luck, while others began to whisper in disbelief, questioning their assumptions. The arena was filled with tension, the previous arrogance giving way to uncertainty, and the students realized that this demonstration might not be the failure they had expected. Their worldviews, built on mockery and superiority, were slowly being challenged. By the end of the first round, the alien students were forced to admit, at least privately, that humans were capable. Their arrogance had been shaken, and while some still refused to accept it openly, the seeds of doubt and respect had been planted. The contest was not only a test of skill, but a lesson in humility, as the students learned that underestimating a species could lead to surprising consequences. Every move the humans made reminded the aliens that confidence alone was not enough, and that real skill often came from creativity, adaptability, and courage. The humans entered the demonstration arena with quiet confidence, their movements calm and deliberate. The alien students watched closely, still unsure how much of the earlier footage had been genuine. Some of the aliens whispered among themselves, predicting failure, while others nervously glanced at their peers, feeling a growing unease. The humans carried only essential tools, relying on their skill, intelligence, and teamwork rather than overwhelming technology. Their calm composure contrasted sharply with the aliens' loud arrogance, drawing attention immediately. The first challenge began with humans navigating a complex obstacle course, designed to test coordination, problem-solving, and adaptability. The alien students had assumed humans would struggle, fumbling with the intricate controls and advanced mechanisms. Yet, humans moved with precision, anticipating challenges before they appeared. Using clever shortcuts and innovative approaches, they completed tasks faster and more efficiently than anyone had expected. The aliens watched in stunned silence, some leaning forward, unable to hide their growing admiration despite themselves. In the next phase, the humans were required to manage multiple systems simultaneously, coordinating resources, adjusting machinery, and reacting to unexpected failures. The aliens had always relied on sheer calculation and speed. But the humans approached the problem differently, combining intuition, creativity, and quick thinking. Each action was deliberate yet flexible, allowing them to adapt instantly to changes. Even when one system malfunctioned, humans improvised seamlessly, turning a potential failure into an opportunity. The alien students whispered in disbelief, trying to rationalize what they were seeing. As the demonstration continued, humans executed advanced strategies that were both innovative and unpredictable. Their teamwork was impeccable, each member anticipating the other's moves, communicating without words, and making split-second decisions that maintained perfect coordination. The alien students, once so confident in their superiority, now found themselves questioning everything they thought they knew about human capability. Some who had mocked the humans earlier could not look away, their pride giving way to awe. Each completed task seemed to raise the bar higher, challenging the aliens' assumptions further. The aliens began to notice that humans did not rely on brute force or overwhelming technology. Instead, they used intelligence, creativity, and adaptability to overcome obstacles. Turning limitations into strengths, they demonstrated a form of problem solving that was entirely different from what the aliens had been taught. The alien students realized that humans' unconventional methods were precisely what made them effective. Each challenge was met with clever improvisation, turning situations that seemed impossible into manageable, even successful outcomes. The arena was filled with murmurs and gasps as humans continued to excel. Their success was not just in completing tasks, but in the style and ingenuity with which they did so. Even the most skeptical alien students could no longer deny the human skill. Some admitted quietly that they had underestimated humans, their arrogance now tinged with a sense of humility. The demonstration was teaching a powerful lesson. Intelligence was not just about speed, technology, or traditional logic, but about creativity, teamwork, and adaptability. When the final stage of the demonstration arrived, humans faced an unpredictable scenario designed to challenge even the most advanced species. Aliens had assumed it would be the point where humans failed, proving once and for all their inferiority. Instead, humans approached the challenge calmly, analyzing, improvising, and executing strategies with precision. Each unexpected twist in the scenario was met with an appropriate response, often turning the complication into an advantage. The alien students, some still holding on to doubt, were forced to acknowledge that humans were far beyond what they had imagined. By the end of the demonstration, the humans had completed every challenge flawlessly, demonstrating skill, ingenuity, and adaptability at levels that stunned the alien spectators. Laughter and mockery had completely vanished, replaced by silence, awe, and a reluctant admiration. Even the most arrogant students could not hide their astonishment. Many whispered to each other, trying to make sense of what they had just witnessed. The humans' performance had shattered every assumption, proving that their abilities were real, effective, and extraordinary. The arena erupted with applause and admiration as instructors and other students acknowledged the humans' success. The alien students who had once mocked humans were now forced to reconsider their beliefs. Their arrogance had been challenged in the most undeniable way, and a sense of respect began to replace their earlier scorn. Even those who were slow to accept it felt the undeniable truth. Humans were exceptional. Their creativity, precision, and teamwork had not only matched expectations, but exceeded them in every way. By the end of the event, it was clear that the humans had changed the perception of the alien students completely. The demonstration had proven that humans were not to be underestimated. Their ability to adapt, innovate, and succeed under pressure had left a lasting impression. The Academy had witnessed something remarkable, and the alien students were now forced to acknowledge that humanity's strength lay not in what they lacked, but in how they overcame every obstacle with intelligence, courage, and ingenuity. The alien students stared at the humans, their eyes wide with disbelief and astonishment. Their previous arrogance had completely vanished, replaced by a mix of shock and admiration. For weeks, they had mocked humanity, certain that humans were weak, unskilled, and incapable of competing at the academy. Yet the demonstration had proven the exact opposite. Every movement, every decision, and every successful strategy had challenged the foundation of their assumptions, forcing them to reconsider everything they thought they knew about humans. Some of the aliens quietly admitted to themselves that they had underestimated the humans, their pride wounded by the undeniable display of skill. Others were slower to accept it, clinging to old beliefs and insisting that perhaps the demonstration had been a rare exception. A few students, however, could not deny the evidence, their minds racing with new possibilities. They whispered to each other about humans' creativity, adaptability, and precision, trying to process how a species they had dismissed as primitive could outperform so many advanced races. Conversations in lounges, corridors, and classrooms became a mixture of admiration and debate as students attempted to explain what they had seen. Some argued that humans must possess a unique way of thinking, different from any alien logic, while others suggested it was their courage and resourcefulness that made the difference. Even those who had been vocal mockers found themselves listening quietly, unable to offer any criticism without contradicting the overwhelming evidence. The academy atmosphere had shifted completely, from one of casual arrogance to one filled with tension, respect, and curiosity. The humans' performance sparked a wave of reflection across the academy. With every challenge they had overcome, it became clear that humans relied not on brute strength or overwhelming technology, but on adaptability and intelligence. They observed patterns in human strategies that were unfamiliar yet highly effective, improvising when faced with obstacles, learning quickly from mistakes, and turning potential failures into successes. The aliens began to understand that human ingenuity was not just a skill, but a mindset, a way of approaching problems that combined creativity, teamwork, and courage. Some students went further, analyzing each move the humans had made, attempting to reverse engineer their strategies. They noted how humans anticipated challenges, communicated silently through subtle cues, and optimized every action for efficiency. Even the smallest adjustments were calculated, yet seemed effortless. The aliens were fascinated, realizing that what they had once mocked as primitive was actually a sign of remarkable ingenuity. The humans had turned limitations into advantages, demonstrating a level of intelligence that could not be ignored. Slowly, the alien students began to approach the humans with newfound respect. Some who had been the loudest in mocking now asked questions, eager to understand how humans thought and planned. Their previous arrogance had given way to curiosity, as they realized that humans were capable of teaching them valuable lessons. The atmosphere in the academy shifted further, as instructors and other species observed the transformation, noting how quickly perceptions could change when faced with undeniable proof. The process of transformation was not instantaneous. Some aliens resisted, unwilling to admit they had been wrong. They tried to rationalize human success as luck or exaggeration, but deep down, even they could not deny the skill and intelligence on display. Others, however, embraced the change, eagerly discussing ways to learn from humans and incorporate aspects of their problem-solving methods into their own practices. The mocking that had once defined the students' behavior was replaced by genuine respect, a desire to observe and understand rather than belittle. By the end of the day, the perception of humans had shifted completely within the academy. The species that had been laughed at and underestimated was now acknowledged as intelligent, resourceful, and formidable. Alien students who had once doubted or mocked now considered humans equals, if not teachers in certain ways. The transformation was profound, marking a turning point in interstellar understanding. As the academy buzzed with conversations about humans, students began to reflect on the importance of humility and the dangers of underestimating others. Even those who had clung to their pride could not ignore the lesson. Humans had proven that intelligence and skill were not always measured by technology or tradition, but by creativity, adaptability, and courage under pressure. The aliens had learned that arrogance could blind them to potential, and that respect must be earned through observation and understanding. By the time the students left the arena, their minds were changed, their assumptions challenged, and their respect for humanity firmly established. The demonstration had rewritten the narrative, leaving a lasting impression that would influence their actions and decisions for years to come. By the time the final round of the contest ended, the humans had not only completed every challenge, but had done so with skill, creativity, and precision that amazed everyone present. The alien students who had once mocked them were now silent, their previous arrogance replaced by respect and astonishment. The humans had proven that they were capable of far more than anyone had imagined. Their adaptability, teamwork, and clever problem-solving had shattered every stereotype the aliens had held, leaving the Academy buzzing with conversations about their unexpected triumph. The once loud and confident mockers now looked at humans with a mixture of admiration and disbelief. Some quietly admitted to themselves that they had been completely wrong, while others debated how humanity had managed to achieve such success with what they considered limited resources. The instructors nodded knowingly, seeing the lesson unfold in real time. Humanity had earned recognition not just for completing the tasks, but for the ingenuity and resilience they had shown. Their performance had rewritten the rules of what was possible in the eyes of the Academy. Many alien students approached humans cautiously, eager to understand how they had accomplished so much. They asked questions about strategies, tools, and methods, hoping to learn from techniques that were so unfamiliar yet highly effective. Even those who had refused to admit their mistakes publicly found themselves observing quietly, taking mental notes, and reconsidering their previous judgments. The Academy, which had once echoed with laughter at humanity's expense, now resonated with curiosity, respect, and a desire to learn from the humans. The humans themselves remained calm and composed, showing no arrogance despite their success. Their confidence came from skill and preparation, not from boasting. Their quiet determination impressed even the most skeptical aliens, who began to understand that true strength was not about showing off, but about performing under pressure. Using intelligence, creativity, and teamwork, humans had turned every challenge into an opportunity, proving that limitations could be overcome with focus and innovation. By the end of the day, the aliens who had doubted humanity's abilities were forced to publicly acknowledge their misjudgment. Some admitted openly that they had underestimated humans, offering apologies and congratulations. Others, still hesitant to fully accept it, quietly reflected on what they had learned. The human triumph had become a lesson in humility, teaching the importance of observation, understanding, and respect for all species. The footage and demonstration had done more than entertain. They had changed perceptions forever. The impact of human success was felt across the Academy. Not only had the students who witnessed it changed their opinions, but the instructors and other species began to spread the news. Humanity's name became synonymous with resilience, ingenuity, and unexpected brilliance. What had started as ridicule had transformed into admiration, and the humans' reputation grew rapidly. Even students who had arrived after the demonstration were eager to see humans in action, knowing they represented a standard of intelligence and skill that could not be ignored. In the following days, alien students tried to emulate human techniques, experimenting with new methods and analyzing the logic behind their strategies. Some collaborated with humans directly, hoping to understand their creativity and approach to problem solving. Others discussed how humans had combined teamwork, adaptability, and rapid thinking to achieve results that no one had anticipated. The Academy had become a place of learning from one another, rather than competition and ridicule, marking a profound shift in the culture of interstellar education. The humans' legacy was not just in their victory, but in the respect they inspired. The mockers had learned a valuable lesson. Underestimating a species could lead to being proven wrong in spectacular fashion. The Academy realized that true intelligence was not always about who had the most advanced technology or who followed conventional logic, but about creativity, resilience, and the ability to adapt. Humanity had demonstrated all of these qualities, leaving a mark that would influence interstellar relations for years to come. By the end of the contest, the humans were celebrated, not as underdogs, but as equals and innovators. Their name echoed in classrooms, lounges, and training arenas, inspiring admiration and curiosity. The alien students who had mocked them earlier now sought to learn from them, realizing that respect must be earned through skill and ingenuity. The demonstration had rewritten history within the Academy, proving that humans, once underestimated, could achieve greatness beyond anyone's expectations. Their triumph became a story of intelligence, humility, and the power of persistence. The humans left the Academy with recognition and honor, but also with a quiet satisfaction, knowing they had changed minds and perceptions. The alien students, once arrogant and mocking, had grown wiser, understanding the importance of respecting all species. The Academy itself had been transformed as the story of humans' extraordinary abilities spread across its halls, teaching a timeless lesson: never judge a species by appearances or past limitations. For intelligence, creativity, and courage could emerge from the most unexpected places, and humanity had proven this beyond any doubt.